Hey guys, welcome. Today I just have a simple little, really more of a paint job. This is obviously a 3D print. This is the Hammerhead Corvette as is seen in Rogue One. It has the 4 engines. I recently found this file on Thingiverse, and it's pretty nice. The print came out pretty good. I printed it all in one piece, kind of I probably could have did it bigger if I would have set it up on this vertically and kind of did it up that way, but I went kind of across my build plate. Now it did come out a few little flaws. You can see I have some flat spaces, I guess, where I didn't support it properly, but they're on the bottom and they're not too noticeable. There's a hole right here. I guess it's for some kind of gaming support, and but otherwise it's done pretty nicely. I have a few shiny places. That's more likely where I didn't get all the excess resin off when I cleaned it and then I hardened it. And but no big deal. It's hardened now. I'm going to paint over it. I don't think it's really taken away any detail. Otherwise, it cleaned up pretty nicely. I had most of my supports running on the bottom side. A few little flaws. You can see where right here a little part didn't print out, and also on the top. Now I do need to add like some little guns on top of these. I believe there were some type of guns coming off those outriggers here. But I'm just going to paint this up. Pretty simple. You can see I've already kind of put a mounting rod in there, and that's just so temporary. Maybe one day I'll add this on to some kind of little diorama of some sort, but I'm not ready to do all of that just yet. But I do want to go ahead and paint this up. So I'm going to go ahead and put a primer on this. I'll probably do a black primer, and then we'll paint over it with that kind of off-white color that you see a lot of the Star Wars vehicles in. So anyway, I'm going to get busy getting this thing painted up. Alright, I got my Hammerhead painted up here. As you can see, I put a black primer coat, and then I used this acrylic paint, this sand gray from Deco Art. You can get these at the hobby supply store. Now you do have to thin them down with water, but I like the kind of off-white, spaceship looking color that gives. Then just hand painted the rest of it. Sorry I don't show the hand painting, but when I'm doing such small detail I have to hold it really close to my eyes, and it's just really hard to video that. But I used a little bit of this black gray for some of the darker areas, some gray Z for like some of the engines and some other details. A little bit of blue on the bridge of the ship up in here, if you can see that. Oops. And then for the yellow color, I didn't want anything too stark, and I had this caramel. This is acrylic also, and I hand painted it. I diluted it with water. It went on kind of thin, brushing it on, but actually I think it turned out pretty well. It's not too stark. It also has that kind of splotchy look that's going to come into play as we weather the ship. Now I'm going to be doing some washes, maybe a little bit of chipping, but the washes really bring detail. But I'm liking the how it's looking right now with the paint scheme. It's a really cool looking ship, and so just going to get on to the weathering process. right, well, here's my finished Hammerhead Corvette from the Rogue One Star Wars movie. Really happy how it came out. Looks really cool. As you see in the video, I did a wash first. That was a gray acrylic paint. Just watered down and painted on, basically. Allowed it to dry for a little bit, not for like a day or so, but just maybe 30-45 minutes. And then I took some Q-tips and some acrylic thinner and cleaned it off the places I didn't want it. So that kind of gave us our first kind of grungy, grimy pass. Started getting into all the nice panel lines that we have on this 3D print. Then went in with some black panel line accent color to darken in some of the areas I wanted a bit darker. Places around the engine nozzles, up here around the bridge area, and certain other places. Went in with some oil paints, mostly I think I like a burnt sienna, kind of an orangish color to give it a little color variation. In places I wanted to look like it'd be, is rusted and stuff like that. I did some dry pastel work to bring out some of these darker areas, or darken in some of these areas, give it a little bit of shading effect in some areas, and then finished up with a clear coat. Now I recently found this Krylon Fusion Flat Clear in a can. It's a little bit more expensive than the regular light Krylon and the Rust-Oleum Flat Clears. I think it was like $8 for this can. But I really like it because it came out very misty. It was a lot finer than the other cans tend to be, quite thick when you spray it on. And this seemed to mist a lot better. And the coat actually was a very nice flat, that I usually get only with airbrushing on, like dedicated model flat colors. So really like this. I'll probably be using this more in the future. So I finished up and really happy with it. It's a nice little print. Obviously you could do it bigger or even smaller, but this is a nice little size to put on your shelf. So anyway, probably doing a few more of these right now. I don't have any major projects right at the moment. We're headed into the holidays at the time of this video, and so I'm just trying to keep things simple. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. Until next time, everybody have a good one.